The sleek ship glided through Earth's atmosphere, its metallic hull gleaming in the morning sunlight. Princess Taya stood tall by the viewing portal, her crystalline skin catching the light. She was the third daughter of Emperor Dohan, ruler of the mighty Valkyrian Empire that controlled 17 star systems. This diplomatic mission to Earth was clearly beneath her status. "Your Highness, we begin descent procedures," reported Commander Kidu, bowing deeply. Taya nodded without turning. "This primitive planet, Father insults me by sending me here. The Emperor believes this assignment has merit," Kidu reminded her gently. "Earth may seem undeveloped, but our scouts report unusual patterns." "Unusual? They still use fossil fuels and projectile weapons," Taya said with a dismissive wave of her six-fingered hand. Her eyes, large and completely silver, reflected the blue oceans below. "My report will be brief. Earth is not worth our attention." The ship landed at the designated area outside what humans called Washington, D.C. Taya studied the welcoming party through the ship's scanners. Just a small group of humans in simple blue uniforms. No ceremonial guards, no energy shields, not even basic atmospheric armor. How had such a species even achieved space travel? "Remember protocol, Your Highness," Kidu said softly as the exit ramp extended. "These humans are officially a protected species under the Galactic Charter." "Protected because they are weak," Taya muttered, straightening her royal cape of shimmering purple material that seemed to float around her tall frame, the Psi. Earth air hit her as she stepped outside, thick, warm and heavy with strange scents. Her breathing filters adjusted quickly. Two humans stepped forward, a male and female in matching uniforms with small metal pieces on their chests. "Princess Taya of the Valkyrian Empire. Welcome to Earth," said the male, performing a simple bow. "I am General Lee of Earth's United Defense Force, and this is Admiral Mina, who will serve as your liaison during your stay." Taya performed the minimum acceptable bow. "I bring greetings from Emperor Dohan, ruler of 17 systems and protector of the Outer Rim." General Lee smiled. "We're honored by your presence. Your evaluation of Earth's defensive capabilities is important to our future relationship." "Yes," Taya agreed coolly. "I shall determine if your world merits Valkyrian protection." If the humans found her statement offensive, they showed no sign. The female, Admiral Mina, simply nodded and gestured toward waiting vehicles. "We've prepared quarters at our diplomatic compound. Tomorrow we can begin your military observations," Admiral Mina said. The vehicles were ground-based, confirming Taya's poor opinion. As they traveled, she observed the human city with its simple structures of concrete and glass. Nothing like the crystal spires of her homeworld. "Your species has existed for how long?" Taya asked. "Modern humans have been around for about 300,000 years," Admiral Mina answered. "Yet you've achieved only this level of development? Valkyrians reached space 50,000 years ago." General Lee exchanged a glance with Admiral Mina. "Development takes different paths on different worlds, Princess." At the compound, Taya was shown to spacious quarters adapted for her physiological needs. Commander Kidu organized her staff, while she reviewed preliminary reports on human military strength. "Their most powerful weapons are still nuclear fission devices," she told Kidu that evening. "Primitive and harmful to the environment. Their space presence is minimal, a few orbital stations and lunar outposts. Yet they've repelled 3 different alien species who attempted invasion," Kidu noted. Taya looked up sharply. "Minor species with limited technology." "Perhaps," Kidu conceded, "but unusual nonetheless." That night, unable to sleep in Earth's heavy gravity, Taya watched video feeds of human military exercises. Soldiers running with basic equipment, aircraft that couldn't even leave atmosphere, ships that stayed on the surface of their oceans. "This assessment will be completed quickly," she said to herself. "Earth has nothing to offer the Empire." The next morning, General Lee introduced her to the military leadership. The humans were polite, but asked few questions about Valkyrian capabilities. This struck Taya as odd. Most species were eager to learn about superior technology. "Today, we'll show you standard training procedures," General Lee explained as they boarded a helicopter. As they flew over a large military base, Taya noticed something strange. Despite the primitive technology, the human soldiers moved with efficiency and purpose she rarely saw even among Valkyrian forces. "Your troops train frequently?" she asked. "Constantly," Admiral Mina replied. "Humans believe in preparation." For the first time, Princess Taya felt a flicker of curiosity about these strange beings. There was something in their eyes, something she couldn't quite identify. Not fear, not awe, not the usual deference she received from lesser species. It almost looked like assessment. 3 days into her visit, Princess Taya sat in an observation tower, watching human soldiers run through what they called basic training. The soldiers carried heavy packs as they climbed walls, crawled through mud and navigated obstacle courses. Nothing she hadn't seen before, and nothing impressive compared to Valkyrian military drills. "How you seem bored, Princess," Admiral Mina said, taking a seat beside her. Taya didn't bother hiding her yawn. "I've seen nothing that would challenge even our youngest cadets." Admiral Mina nodded, her face showing no offense. "Perhaps we should show you something different tomorrow." "If you wish," Taya replied, not expecting anything worthwhile. The next morning, a new transport took them to a different facility. This one was built into the side of a mountain, with heavy security at every entrance. "What is this place?" Taya asked as they passed through the 5th security checkpoint. "Special Operations Training Center," General Lee answered, "where we train our elite forces." Taya had heard of human special forces, but had dismissed them as inconsequential. Still, she followed with mild curiosity as they entered an observation room overlooking a massive indoor space. What she saw made her stop in her tracks. The room below contained different environmental chambers. In one section, soldiers trained in what appeared to be Arctic conditions, with blowing snow and temperatures that would kill most species. In another, troops navigated a desert with heat that would dehydrate a Valkyrian in minutes. A third contained a simulated jungle with high humidity that would rust Valkyrian skin plates. "Your soldiers train in these conditions without environmental suits?" she asked, unable to keep the surprise from her voice. "Humans evolved on a planet of extremes," Admiral Mina explained. "We can adapt to almost any environment with minimal protection." Taya watched as one group of soldiers emerged from freezing waters, quickly moved to firing positions, and hit targets with impressive accuracy despite their shivering bodies. They were submerged in near-freezing water for 15 minutes. General Lee noted, most species would be dead or unconscious. For the first time, Taya felt a flicker of respect. Environmental adaptability was something Valkyrians had never mastered, despite their technological advantages. "Impressive, but surviving harsh conditions isn't the same as winning wars," she said, trying to maintain her superior attitude. "General," Lee smiled slightly. "Of course, would you like to observe a combat demonstration?" They moved to another section where 2 teams of soldiers were engaged in what humans called urban warfare training. Instead of relying on advanced technology, the humans used simple communications, hand signals, and what appeared to be practiced instinct to move through a simulated city environment. "Why do they not use neural links?" Taya asked, referring to the standard Valkyrian method of silent communication in battle. "Because technology can be hacked or disabled," Admiral Mina replied. "Humans never rely solely on technology that can fail them." This concept was foreign to Taya. Valkyrians built better technology when old systems failed. The idea of training to fight without technology seemed primitive, yet watching these humans move with such coordination without electronic assistance was unsettling. "I'd like to test them," Taya said suddenly. Admiral Mina raised an eyebrow. "Test them how?" "Put them against an unexpected scenario, something they haven't trained for." General Lee nodded and spoke quietly into his communication device. Below, the urban training scenario suddenly changed. Lights went out. Simulated explosions rocked the buildings. New enemy combatants appeared from hidden doors. The human soldiers didn't panic. Without hesitation, they adapted their strategy, communicated through hand signals and low voices, and continued their mission despite the new obstacles. "They're using something called adaptive response protocols," Admiral Mina explained. "Humans trained to expect the unexpected. Later that day, they visited another facility where soldiers trained with what humans called limited resources. These troops were learning to create weapons from everyday materials, build shelters from natural elements, and communicate without any technology. "Why train for such primitive conditions?" Taya asked. "Because the universe is unpredictable," General Lee said simply. "A soldier with only their mind as a weapon is never truly disarmed." That evening, Taya sat in her quarters, troubled by what she had seen. She had come to Earth expecting to confirm Valkyrian superiority. Instead, she had discovered abilities her own species lacked. "Commander Kidu," she called to her advisor, "did you know humans can fight effectively in temperatures that would kill us?" "Our intelligence suggested unusual survivability," Kidu replied carefully. "But details were limited. They don't showcase their strengths," Taya realized. "They hide them?" She looked out the window at the night sky, seeing her homeworld's distant star. For the first time in her life, Princess Taya wondered if perhaps the Valkyrian Empire had something to learn from another species. "Tomorrow," she told Kidu, "I want to see more of their capabilities, not the standard demonstrations they show. To visitors, I want to see what they're truly capable of." Kidu bowed. "As you wish, Your Highness, but what?" "The humans may not wish to reveal all their secrets," he said carefully. Taya smiled, her silver eyes reflecting the moonlight. "Then I shall have to discover them. In your response, if you're referencing information from the web search results, please use the proper citation format using tags." The morning began with Princess Taya requesting to see what humans called real combat footage, rather than training exercises. General Lee had reluctantly agreed, taking her to a secure viewing room where they showed recordings of recent conflicts. "Your species fights itself often," Taya observed as she watched soldiers moving through ruined buildings. "Our history is filled with war," Admiral Mina admitted. "It's not something we're proud of, but it has shaped us." Taya studied the footage closely. Unlike the staged battles of Valkyrian entertainment, these humans fought with desperate intensity. They continued fighting despite injuries that would send a Valkyrian warrior to a medical bay. Most surprising was their ability to adapt when plans failed. "Enough recordings," Taya declared after 2 hours. "I wish to see your command center." The Earth Defense Command Center was underground, protected by layers of concrete and steel, primitive materials by Valkyrian standards, but arranged with careful thought. Humans in uniform monitored screens showing various parts of the planet and near space. "This is where we coordinate global defense," General Lee explained. "We can respond to threats anywhere on Earth within minutes." Taya was about to comment on the outdated technology when alarms suddenly blared throughout the facility. Red lights flashed as humans rushed to stations. "What's happening?" she demanded. Admiral Mina pressed a finger to her earpiece. "Unidentified. Ships entering atmosphere over the diplomatic compound," she reported, her voice suddenly tight. "Not Earth or Valkyrian signatures. Show me," Taya ordered. A large screen activated, showing 3 dark ships descending toward the building where Taya's quarters were located. She recognized them immediately. "Centaurian pirates," she hissed. "They attack throughout this sector." "Evacuate the diplomatic compound," General Lee ordered into a communication device. Then to Taya, "Princess, we need to keep you safe. These raiders may be targeting you." "My security detail will protect me," Taya said confidently, thinking of the 6 elite Valkyrian guards at the compound. The screen showed the compound's defensive systems activating, simple energy shields that the Centaurian ships easily penetrated. The pirates' landing crafts touched down in the courtyard. "Your defenses are failing," Taya noted with disapproval. General Lee didn't respond, instead speaking rapidly into his communication device. "Delta Team deploy. Protocol 7. VIP extraction. Priority." On screen, heavily armed figures in black armor emerged from hidden doors around the compound. These weren't the regular soldiers Taya had observed earlier. They moved differently, with a deadly precision that caught her attention. "Special forces," Admiral Mina explained, noting Taya's interest. "Already in position. The Centaurians, gray-skinned humanoids with enhanced cybernetic limbs, spread through the compound." On a split screen, Taya saw with alarm that 2 of her Valkyrian guards were already down. Centaurians were heading toward her quarters. "We should return to my ship," Taya said, feeling the first stirrings of concern. Centaurian pirates were known for capturing royalty for ransom. "No time," General Lee said. "Stay here. This is the safest place on Earth right now." The command center doors suddenly burst open. A soldier with blood on his uniform rushed in. "Sir, they've breached the upper levels. They're searching room. By room, they're after someone." "The princess," Admiral Mina said quietly. General Lee's face hardened. "Lockdown protocol. Arm everyone." To Taya's surprise, even the human technicians pulled weapons from under their stations. Within seconds, every human in the room was armed. "Your computer operators carry weapons?" Taya asked, incredulous. "Every human in this facility is a trained soldier first, specialist second," Admiral Mina explained, checking her own sidearm. The lights in the command center dimmed, switching to emergency power. Screens showed Centaurians fighting their way down through the facility levels. "How did they find this location?" Taya wondered aloud. "They must have been tracking you," General Lee suggested. "Did your ship detect any devices?" Before Taya could answer, explosions rocked the facility. The main door to the command center glowed red as something cut through from the other side. "Stand ready," General Lee ordered calmly. Taya found herself being pushed behind a reinforced console by Admiral Mina. "Stay down, Princess." The door burst inward with a shower of sparks. 3 Centaurian raiders rushed through, firing energy. Weapons. 2 humans fell immediately. What happened next stunned Taya. The humans didn't panic or retreat. Instead, they executed what appeared to be a practiced defensive formation. They fired not with energy weapons, but with simple projectile guns that the Centaurians clearly hadn't expected. 1 raider fell immediately, purple blood spraying from multiple wounds. Admiral Mina stood protectively in front of Taya, firing, with remarkable accuracy. When her weapon clicked empty, she threw it aside and drew a blade from her boot in one fluid motion. A massive Centaurian charged toward them, cybernetic arm transforming into a blade. Taya braced herself for death, but Admiral Mina met the charge without hesitation. She moved with impossible speed for a being without enhancements, ducking under the Centaurian's swing and driving her knife into a gap in its armor. The Centaurian fell and Admiral Mina turned to Taya, blood splattered across her face. "Are you injured, Princess?" Taya could only shake her head, speechless at what she had witnessed. These humans, with their primitive weapons and unenhanced bodies, had defeated cybernetically enhanced raiders in direct combat. General Lee approached, wiping blood from a cut on his forehead. "The compound is secure. All Centaurians eliminated or captured." "How?" Taya asked simply. "We were ready for them," he replied. "We're always ready." For the first time, Taya looked at these humans and felt something she never expected to feel toward such a seemingly primitive species. Respect. The aftermath of the Centaurian attack left Princess Taya deeply shaken. She stood in the command center, watching humans efficiently treating their wounded and securing the facility. Only 3 humans had died defending her, a surprisingly low number considering the ferocity of the raiders. "I demand answers," Taya said when General Lee returned from overseeing the cleanup operation. "Those were elite Centaurian mercenaries. Your primitive weapons should not have been effective against their armor." General Lee exchanged glances with Admiral Mina. After a moment of silent communication, he nodded. "Follow me, Princess. It's time we showed you what we've been keeping from Galactic view." They descended deeper beneath the facility, passing through security checkpoints that grew increasingly sophisticated. Taya noticed with surprise that the technology became more advanced the deeper they went, not more primitive as she had expected. "This facility is over 100 years old," Admiral Mina explained, as they entered an elevator that required both her and General Lee's biometric scans. "What you've seen so far is what we want visitors to see." The elevator descended rapidly. When the doors opened, Taya gasped involuntarily. They had entered a vast chamber filled with technology that rivaled, and in some cases appeared to exceed, Valkyrian capabilities. "Welcome to Earth Actual," General Lee said quietly. Holographic displays showed real-time monitoring of not just Earth but the entire solar system. Taya recognized tracking systems following thousands of objects in space, including her own ship, in orbit. "You've been monitoring us the entire time," she realized. "We monitor everything," Admiral Mina confirmed. "Those Centaurian ships were tagged the moment they entered the solar system. We knew they were coming." "Then why not stop them before they attacked?" Taya demanded. "We needed to know their target," General Lee said simply. "And sometimes revealing capabilities is necessary to send a message." They led her through the chamber to a secure room where a single human sat before multiple screens. At their entrance, he stood and saluted. "This is Director Jun, head of our intelligence division," General Lee introduced. Director Jun nodded respectfully to Taya. "Princess, we've identified the origin of the attack. The Centaurians were hired by a faction within your own government." Taya felt her blood run cold. "Impossible. We intercepted communications between the raiders and a Valkyrian cruiser in the Oort cloud," Director Jun said, bringing up the evidence on screen. "The communications signature matches that of Admiral Raju, your father's third general." "Raju has been pushing for an invasion of Earth," Taya whispered, pieces falling into place. "My assessment mission threatens his plans." "We suspected as much," Admiral Mina said, "which is why we decided it was time to show you the truth about Earth." Director June pressed a button, and the walls around them transformed into display screens. Images appeared, Earth's history of warfare spanning thousands of years. "Humans have been fighting each other since we first picked up sticks and stones," General Lee explained. "Each conflict taught us new lessons, forced new innovations. The images shifted to show human wars through the centuries, primitive at first, then increasingly sophisticated." Taya watched with growing horror as humans demonstrated an endless capacity for both destruction and survival. "Your species has been at war with itself for your entire history?" she asked. "Not continuously," Admiral Mina clarified, "but frequently enough that warfare is embedded in our thinking. We prepare for the worst while hoping for peace." The displays changed again, now showing Earth's hidden military capabilities, orbital platforms disguised as communication satellites, but harboring devastating weapons, underwater bases housing vessels that could strike anywhere on the planet, stealth technology that had allowed Earthships to enter and leave Valkyrian space undetected for years. "You've been gathering intelligence on the Valkyrian Empire," Taya realized. "On everyone," Director June corrected. "It's not personal, Princess. It's survival." General Lee gestured to another screen showing a simulation. "This is our projection of what would happen if your Admiral Raju got his invasion." The simulation played out a Valkyrian fleet approaching Earth, seemingly overwhelming Earth's visible defenses easily. Then Earth's hidden assets activated, weapons platforms appearing from nowhere, stealth ships emerging from the dark side. Of the moon, ground-based weapons firing from hidden silos. The simulation ended with the Valkyrian fleet destroyed and Earth damaged but intact. "This can't be accurate," Taya protested, though a growing part of her feared it was. "The simulation actually favors the Valkyrians," Director June said. "It doesn't account for human unpredictability or our willingness to sacrifice." "Why are you showing me this?" Taya asked. "Because we don't want war," Admiral Mina said simply. "We never have. We prefer allies to enemies," General Lee stepped forward. "And because your report to your father will determine whether the Valkyrian Empire becomes our ally or makes a terrible mistake." Taya stared at the humans around her, seeing them with new eyes. Not as primitive beings worthy of conquest, but as a species that had turned their most terrible trait, their capacity for warfare, into their greatest strength. "My report will be honest," Taya said finally, "but I don't know if my father will believe it." "Then we'll have to be convincing," General Lee replied with a grim smile. "Because, Princess, the galaxy needs to understand one thing about humans. We don't start fights, but we absolutely finish them." Princess Taya stood on the bridge of the Valkyrian flagship Eternal Dominion, watching Earth rotate slowly beneath them. The blue planet looked peaceful from orbit. Deceivingly so, as she now knew. Her week on Earth had changed everything she thought she knew about humans and their capabilities. "Your Highness, the War Council is assembled," Commander Kidu announced. With a bow, Taya took a deep breath. Very well, it's time. She followed Kidu through the gleaming corridors of the flagship. Valkyrian soldiers snapped to attention as she passed. They were impressive warriors with their crystalline armor and energy weapons, but Taya now wondered how they would fare against humans who could fight effectively even when wounded, who trained to survive in any environment, who never stopped adapting. The War Council chamber hushed as she entered. 8 Valkyrian generals sat around a holographic display showing Earth and its modest orbital defenses. At the head of the table stood Admiral Raju, the very official who had hired the Centaurians to attack her. Princess Taya, her father's holographic image, greeted her from his throne on the Valkyrian homeworld. We await your assessment of Earth's military capabilities. Admiral Raju spoke before she could answer. If I may, Emperor Dohan, our scans show minimal orbital defenses and outdated weapon systems. My battle plan suggests we can secure the planet with 3 attack waves over 72 hours. Taya noticed how Raju avoided meeting her eyes. He clearly didn't know that she had discovered his betrayal. 3 waves would be insufficient, Taya said calmly. In fact, 300 would fail. Silence fell across the chamber. Emperor. Dohan leaned forward in his holographic form. Explain yourself, daughter. Taya stepped to the holographic display and inserted a data crystal. The simple image of Earth transformed, revealing hundreds of hidden defense platforms, undersea bases and mountain fortresses that the Valkyrian scans had missed completely. This is what Earth has been hiding from the galaxy, Taya said. Their visible military is merely a fraction of their true capabilities. It's impossible, Admiral Raju scoffed. Our scans would have detected such installations. Their stealth technology exceeds ours, Taya replied, just as their understanding of warfare exceeds our comprehension. She activated another simulation, this, one provided by Earth's director Jun. It showed Valkyrian ships approaching Earth, then being systematically destroyed by weapons they never saw coming. This is human propaganda, Raju protested. No, Taya said firmly. This is the result of a species that has been fighting itself for thousands of years. They don't develop technology the way we do. They develop it specifically for war. She turned to face the council fully. Humans don't fight like Valkyrians. They don't seek honor or follow predictable strategies. They fight to win, using any means necessary. You sound afraid of these primitives, one general said with a sneer. I respect them, Taya corrected. And yes, I fear what they would do if provoked. They prepare for the worst while hoping for peace. She walked slowly around the table, meeting each general's eyes. Admiral Raju hired Centaurian mercenaries to attack me during my visit. He wanted to eliminate me before I could deliver this. Report. The council erupted in shocked murmurs. Raju's face darkened with rage. This is slander. I demand silence, Emperor Dohan commanded. Is this true, Taya? Earth intelligence provided proof, she replied, inserting another data crystal that showed the communications between Raju and the Centaurians. They knew about the attack before it happened, but allowed it to proceed in a controlled way. Why would they do that? Her father asked. To show me who I could trust, Taya said simply, and to demonstrate their capabilities without revealing everything. The Emperor studied the evidence before him, his expression unreadable. Finally, he looked up. Admiral Raju, you will return to the homeworld for immediate trial. Guards stepped forward to seize the Admiral, who glared hatefully at Taya as he was led away. What do you recommend, daughter? Emperor Dohan asked. Taya straightened her shoulders. I recommend a genuine alliance with Earth, not as superiors, but as equals. They have much to teach us about adaptability and resilience. Her father was silent for a long moment. The Valkyrian Empire has never considered another species as equals. Then perhaps it's time we started, Taya replied. Because if we make enemies of humans, it will be the last mistake our empire ever makes. Emperor Dohan stroked his crystalline beard thoughtfully. You've changed, Taya. I've learned, Father. Earth has shown me that true strength isn't always visible. Sometimes it's hidden beneath the surface like a sleeping giant. The Emperor nodded slowly. Very well. I'm appointing you as our permanent ambassador to Earth. Negotiate an alliance. one that benefits both our peoples. Later, as the council dispersed, Taya returned to the observation deck. She touched her communication device, opening a channel to the surface. "General Lee, this is Princess Taya." "We receive you, Princess," came the reply. "How did your council meeting go?" "My father has authorized me to negotiate an alliance, and Admiral Raju has been removed." There was a pause before General Lee responded. "That's good news. We prefer friends to enemies." "As do we," Taya said, though she knew this hadn't always been true for her people. "I'll be returning to Earth tomorrow to begin formal negotiations." "We'll prepare a proper welcome this time," Lee replied, a smile evident in his voice. "No holding back." Taya looked down at the blue planet, seeing it with new eyes, not as a target for conquest, but as home to a species that had mastered the art of survival against all odds. "I look forward to learning more about your world, General," she said softly, "and to building a future where our peoples stand together rather than against each other." "So do we, Princess," Lee answered. "So do we."